Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and viewer discretion is extremely advised for this video because Luthor Strode finally gets to start unaliving people in a spectacular manner. We are at 1,000 subscribers, so as promised, I'm going to be giving you guys video every single day for the rest of this year. You're welcome. We pick up back with our story with Luthor going back to his house and finding his mother safe. He was overjoyed. He had to embrace her, even if she was asking him why did he break down the door. But he couldn't talk. Petra was in danger. So he looked at his best friend and told him to protect his mother, no matter what. No harm should come to her. And he said he will. Back with Petra though, she was suffering. Or was she really? Because at this moment when everyone thought she was crying, she wasn't. She was laughing. Because these guys were considered weak in her opinion. Letting them know that she's used to violence. She literally gets beat up every day by her father. So this was literally nothing to her. And when they heard it, they were a bit insulted. So the boss decided to give her a proper beatdown. But before he could, she kicked him in the family jewels like her boss. I love Petra. She is crazy like her boyfriend because Luthor was on the hunt. He went to her house straight, only to find her deadbeat father there. So he decided to put a little beating on this man because he is a failure of a father. When she needed him the most, he wasn't there. But he could put his hands on her every day since she was born. Luthor wasn't going to let that slide. He hates women beaters, so he beat the brakes off this guy. I mean, imagine the Hulk just beating you up in a corner. He was bloodied up. He was a bloody mess. Luthor let him know that he is nothing before he left, and he truly knew that he was nothing. But back in Luthor's house, Pete was going through it. Because Luthor's mother doesn't take no for an answer. She wanted to know what was happening with her son. And Pete was going to tell her, which he did, because he's a pussy. He told her everything, but she didn't believe him. She thought Pete was making jokes, but he really wasn't. And she was threatening to beat his ass. That was until he came. Standing in the doorway was this absolute psychopath, the librarian. For those of you who don't know, go check out my first video. He is a literal butcher of men. So you know it's about to get bloody. And Petra was having the time of her life till she got smacked. But this was part of her plan. She really wanted to land on the bottle so she could get some shards and cut her ropes. The gangsters made it clear that the beating wasn't meant for her. It was meant for Luthor. But if she wanted it, she could get it. And she smiled because something had changed. She just wanted to let them know one more thing. Look behind you, because Luthor was already there. And he kicked ass. He dismantled the whole operation in seconds, kicking the boss so hard he flew and crashed into Petra. It was so funny. Petra managed to cut off the ropes and started beating the boss, but Luthor told her to run. And at this moment, he was feeling himself, feeling confident, asking them, is this all you have to offer? But it really wasn't, because the boss had a gun hidden away, and he unleashed a flurry of bullets directly into Luthor's chest. And he didn't miss. Back in the house though, we see the librarian had one goal. The goal was to take Luthor's mother away. He needed her intact for what he had planned. But as soon as Pete heard that the goal was Luthor's mother, he went into action mode because Luthor gave him one job, and he was going to carry out that job one way or another, smacking a whole ass lamp on this guy's head. This was such a stupid move because the librarian just started laughing. And while he laughed, Pete told Luthor's mother to run away, which she did, but she ran into the house, not out of it. Pete was seconds away from dying, but we see that Luthor's mother went to grab a gun because she was not going to be threatened by another man. We see the librarian just simply toss Pete aside and took the bullet head on. Luthor's mother shot without even thinking, but the librarian wasn't shook at all. He just dodged the bullet moving at such speeds. He slowly just walked up to Luthor's mother and tapped her on the forehead, knocking her out. He made it clear that he wanted her alive and intact, but for some reason, intact is the only option he's willing to carry out. He was about to kill her before Pete came through and saved her again, tossing a knife directly at the librarian's head. But the thing is, he's as skilled as Luthor, so he caught it and sent it flying back, and this time taking 4 of Pete's fingers with it. Pete was bleeding. He was crying. He didn't expect to feel this type of pain today. But the librarian wasn't done, coming forward and letting Pete know he wants him to give Luthor a message. Come to the docks if you want your mother. And Pete wasn't done either, because he picked up a knife and stabbed the librarian straight through his throat, which for some reason didn't kill him, just pissed him off. So he decided to teach Pete a lesson and how to be polite. And he's a butcher of men, so you know it was about to be bloody. Back with Luthor though, he was shot in the chest 5 times, 5 bullets. A regular person should have died, but Luthor was not a regular person. They were about to end his life before Petra stopped them. But this was how it was always going to end. He has to die. But they made the mistake of taking their eyes off Luthor. This man just survived 5 bullets to the chest. Do you think he was down and out? Because he wasn't. He was just pissed off. Oh, and the bloodbath began. Luthor butchered every single person in that room. If you watch my first video, you have seen this scene already, because this was what caused that scene. Luthor, the butcher of men, was born. Petra clearly couldn't handle what she had just seen, so she passed out, and Luthor picked her up and took her back to his place, only for her to awaken and not meet a better sight, but something way darker. Her friend, Luthor's best friend, Pete, stood crucified on the wall of Luthor's apartment, waiting to give him a message from the librarian. Because this wasn't over. This was just the beginning. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave a comment below to tell me what you guys want to see next. Peace and love.